right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Boxing Legends Lounge. I am your host, Legend, and today we have a very, very special guest. I'm very excited and very thrilled to have this great fighter, great man of faith, a man who currently right now is 20-0, 20 wins, 0 losses with 13 knockouts. He is the WBA Continental America's Cruiserweight Champion. Also, the WBC Silver Cruiserweight Champion that he just won May 22nd of 2026. Listen, Golden Boy Promotion, superstar, rising star, Robin Safar, my good brother. How you doing today, man?
I'm good, my brother. Y'all like that introduction, yo. That was a good one, yo.
I tried, man. I gotta represent you right, good brother.
Yeah,
I gotta represent
I
you
like
right,
that, yo.
man.
Now, I'm doing good, my brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing. I can't complain, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for taking the opportunity to sit down with me. And I know you're a very busy man. I know you got a lot going on, but I definitely appreciate your time.
Of course, man.
Yes, sir. So, Rob, real quick, man, you just came off a victory, May 22nd, right? Just won your cruiserweight title, the WBC Silver Cruiserweight title. How are you feeling? How have you been able to process the victory? I know it was by a split decision, but have you been able to process things so far?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I feel like I started processing it like the day after, even right after the fight. I went through a little, like, I went inside my head a little bit, but yeah, I processed it, and now I'm just looking forward to doing better, just doing better.
Absolutely. So, quick question, right? We say do better. So I ask all the fighters when they say that, right? They say I'm looking to do better. In your opinion, as a fighter and as a man, what is the doing better part in the sport of boxing?
I'm talking more about like this fight that I had, but obviously getting better at everything. But this specifically for this fight, there's certain things that I gotta change. Obviously I used to fight a light heavyweight back in the days, or at least I tried to. And I was cutting a lot of fucking weight. I was cutting like 30 pounds, and I went up to cruiserweight. I never had no problems making weight. So this fight, I didn't have a scale at my house until like 4 weeks before. And then I bought a scale, and I was like, yo, I was pretty much overweight, yo. So I just, I got to be on point with my weight, but also I got to be on point during my camp when it comes to structure, I just got to structure the camp way better than what I did this time. But it's like small stuff, Yeah, just small stuff, yeah. But I know if I fix those things, then everything will be all right, because I have the recipe for it. It's just that I didn't cook it the way I should have.
Well, listen, champ, listen. Every fight and every day is a learning process, right? So sometimes we're learning on the job as we go, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So my next question to you in regards to that, right? Like, how difficult is it for or the mindset of a fighter, right? When you have to cut the weight, you got training camp. Training camp is very grueling and things of that nature. You're trying to make a name for yourself. How difficult or how much of a challenge is that? I know you said that you're working on it, but how much of it is a challenge?
I mean, it's not really a challenge. Just you got to be like disciplined with it, Just got to do what you tell yourself to do, It like the things that was going on for me was out of my control, if that makes sense. Like it was stuff that I could have, but I didn't have knowledge of it, obviously, because I didn't have a scale and because I didn't have certain facilities to be able to have to structure my camp the way I should have. But that was just out of my control, But I no blames, yo. It was just one of those days where you don't perform the best, but I still got out of there with a victory, And I learned a lot from this fight, I learned a lot from this fight.
Absolutely. You know what they say in sports, right? Whether you win by 20 points or you win by 1 point, it's still
Exactly.
It's still a victory. It's still a victory. So with that being said, right? You fought Yamil Perlata, right? You fought him. If you look back now, just answer this for me real quick. If you think that if all your I's was dotted, all your T's was crossed, do you think that you probably would have got him out of there? I think you would have got him out of there.
No, 100%, million percent,
Mm.
million percent. If I would have been on my P's and Q's, I would have got him out of there. If I would have been the Robs that I am, that would have got him out of there. But it is what it is, bro. God got a plan, man. And His plan is the greatest. So I just gotta keep my faith in Him, and everything will turn the way I want it to turn into.
Absolutely, absolutely. You speak on faith, and I watched a couple of your interviews, right? And you use the word faith a lot. I'm a man of faith as well too, and I don't believe in coincidence, right? Especially when you work hard for it. I listened to a little bit of your background. Coming up, I believe you said at the age of 16 to 19 that you was incarcerated in juvenile, right, for 3 years, and then you came out, and then and you started and you got into the boxing game, right? So
Yeah.
how much of that was your faith to allow you to pursue the sport of boxing? Because I heard your background. I heard you was knocking dudes out back in the days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with that being said, right, how much of your faith played the role in your career and the trajectory that you're on right now?
Everything, everything was faith. It started off with belief, but then it turned to faith. But then
Mm-hmm.
also it turned to sacrifices and discipline, obviously. Because when I got out, you know, I started boxing as an amateur at the age of 19, but I was still doing stuff on the side, like,
Right.
I was drinking a lot, I was smoking a lot of weed, and like I was smoking weed even some days during the day of the fight and shit. So, and then when I started slowly like letting certain things go, because I started off letting certain things go, like, things that were destructive for me, like alcohol or like drugs or whatever, not drug, but like
Yeah.
weed. Oh, okay, yeah, it's drugs, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, when I
Right.
let that part go, I started getting better at boxing. So I learned the more that I sacrificed outside the ring, the more I gained. But I still lived a certain type of lifestyle, even though because that's the way I'm raised, and that's the way I learned how to make money. Right?
Right.
It's the same. Listen, like the how you say it, like the segregation that's going on in all different countries, it's the same, or different poverty areas, it's the same. It's just different looks. People might look different, people might have a different lingo, people might act different, but it's still the same. The foundation is
Absolutely.
the same. It don't matter where you in, like which country you're in the world, it's all the same. Because and By that being said, obviously I learned how to make money a certain type of way, so I was still doing my thing on the side while I
Mm-hmm.
was an amateur. But the more that I sacrificed outside the ring, the more I gained in the ring. And then
Mm.
when I turned professional, the year that I turned professional, I told myself, I said, listen, I'm not gonna do nothing, like nothing. Like I don't really care if I don't really got the money that I want. As long as I can survive and as long as I can box, I'm good, right?
Mm.
And when I started off boxing, I had to pay for my fights. Uh, the first couple of fights, I paid for them myself,
Right.
back home where I'm from. And then I ended up here a year later when I did that. So yeah, but I don't really remember the question. I don't even know why I started with
No,
it.
no, it's good. No, it's good. Listen, I
Yeah,
call, I call this show Boxing Legends Lounge for a reason, right? Where guys can feel comfortable and just be able to speak freely. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Just speak freely.
yeah,
I love your answer, right? And I think that's very important because I think a lot of fighters go through those battles, right? They go through the hardships. And as we know, boxing is a poor man's sport, right? A lot of guys got into the sport because they felt like they had to, right? They had to get out of impoverished environments and things of that nature. Now
or
you
just
said,
they might
yeah,
have just needed therapy in life.
yeah, yeah, absolutely,
That's a
absolutely.
big therapy too for a lot of people, and that's what it was for me in the beginning.
Mhm.
Right?
Absolutely. Now, you brought up a point where you said, you was drinking, you was partying, you're doing all these different things. What clicked? Was it a fight that you had? Was it just life,
Yeah,
just
I lost
life?
my first fight. I lost my 14th fight.
Mm.
Uh, I was like 13-0, and then my 14th fight I lost on a split decision, and I lost because I got tired. I
In
was
the amateurs. So just to let
Yeah, in
everybody
the
know, in
amateurs,
the
yeah, in
amateurs.
the
Right,
amateurs, in the
right.
amateurs, yeah. And I was so mad, yo. I was like, I can never let this happen again. I said, what can I do different? And then I stopped smoking close to my fights. It helped, but then I And then also in the gym, getting beat up in the gym sometimes, because sometimes, I was drinking, and then I came like hangover or still drunk to the gym and like sparred, right? And I got beat up in the gym while I puked after the sparring, and I felt embarrassed because, people might have thought that the dude made me fucking throw up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to feel like this, I don't want to be in this situation where people like, either laugh at me or, think that they beat me up because of certain things, Yeah, so
Right.
that's what made me like try to change a lot. Yeah.
I love that. I always hear a lot of coaches, they say the boxing ring will expose you as a fighter. So it will show you whether you've been training, if you've been partying, if you've been doing all the things that you're
Yeah.
not supposed to be doing. And I
Yeah.
think that would you say that was the case for you?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's only you in that ring. Like it's like I usually tell that to people who always act hard outside, when they're with friends or when they're around people, or when they're around you, whatever. In the end, the only time you really know who you are is when you go to bed by yourself. Because when you're in bed by yourself, that's when you only with yourself, You
Mm,
start having like conversation with yourself in the head, and if you really think about it, that's when you really know who you are, because you
mm,
might be with your homeboy or whatever, and you feel type of way. You like, yeah, I would do this, I would do that, I would do this. But then when you by yourself, you're like, ooh, I, I don't know if I should do that, And that's actually
mm,
who you are. So, and that's the same with the ring, When you step in that ring, you are by yourself. You're naked. Like there's
mm.
nobody else. There's only you. So yeah, you definitely get exposed in that ring for sure. For
Well,
sure.
listen, it looks like you've been exposing a lot of people, champ. You 20 wins, 13 knockouts. You've been exposing a lot of people.
Oh
But
yeah.
but from the sound of it and just hearing you speak often and your character to me is a very humble fighter, a very humble man. But in the
Yeah.
same token, you recognize your skill set at the same time. Like you're very sure of yourself, and I think that's why you're able to have those confirmations when you look yourself in the mirror and say, "Hey, look, this last performance, although I won, there's room for me to do better."
100%, 100%. And yeah, I'm just the only thing that makes me irritated because I haven't been able to be like, how do you say, the person who I am. You know, the
Mm,
person that I really am. People haven't seen that yet. That's it's just frustrating. You know what I mean?
mm,
Because I know I have so much more to give. And but it's life, yo. God got a plan, man. Maybe it's a
absolutely.
big reason for this. Maybe it's a big reason this is happening because maybe other fighters want to fight me now. So maybe I could get fights that I couldn't get before. Like there's a lot of things that how you can look at it. So it's just a blessing, being in the situation and the place that I am right now.
Absolutely. So let's fast forward a little bit, right?
Yeah,
You fought Kovalev in 2024 on the
yeah,
Tyson Fury and Usyk card, right?
yeah,
Um, do you feel like that was your breakout moment? Fighting a guy like
yeah.
Kovalev, and that's when things started to change for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, that was my breakout. That was my breakout for sure. Before that, I just fought on like raggedy ass hood shows.
Yeah, I heard you saying
Yeah.
that when you said you fought in Philly, fought in Chicago, and all the
Yeah, yeah,
local
yeah. I fought
ball.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Just local shows. Local
man.
shows.
Listen, but I believe that we all got to start somewhere, right? Until
Of
you get
course.
that breakthrough moment.
100%, 100%.
So,
It's just that when you're
mhm,
not signed with a promoter, it's a little harder. It's a little harder.
absolutely.
Especially when you haven't like been in the Olympics, took a medal, or you got a special what is it called, resume from the amateurs. It's
Mm,
it's it's not as easy. But it was the faith. It was the faith,
right.
and it was just the dedication that I had, because obviously I just came out of it with a fucking suitcase, you
Mm,
know, and I was basically basically illegal, I would say, the first couple
hmm.
of years that I was here,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't, but yeah, kind of. But yeah, I
Mm,
mean, it turned out well, yeah.
absolutely. So Rob, you you get this call, right, that you're going to be fighting Kovalev on the undercard of Tyson Fury and Usyk. What's the
Yeah.
first thing that goes through your mind? The initial thing that you started thinking about.
I say finally, like finally the time came. Like, because I knew something would happen eventually, but I
Right.
knew that was gonna be my moment. Like, well, right when I got the phone call, it wasn't even me getting the phone call; it was my trainer. But right when he told me about it, I was like, "Oh, this is the moment." And the funny part is, I believe that when you go through a lot of hardship in life, ease will come. Like, it will come, like good will come out of it. And during that period of time before I got the phone call, I was going through a lot of shit, like a lot of shit. And yeah, then I got the phone call, man. It's like, yo, fuck, this is my moment, yo. Yeah. And
I love.
I didn't think about like the money or this and this and that. I probably got underpaid. People probably fucking leached out of it and took money from the side out of it. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to fight.
You know, I'm glad you say that, because I feel a lot of fighters might bypass that at times, right? When they say when you said, people might take money on the side. But your mindset as a fighter, you're programmed as a fighter to say, hey, listen, this is a golden opportunity for me to get my name out there. I've been waiting for this moment. So for you, it wasn't even about the money. Can you
No.
expound on that a little bit more?
I mean, look, like sacrificing so much that I did, like a
Yeah,
lot of other fighters do too. They can also feel what I'm saying.
right,
Uh, when you get that phone call, you get that moment where like everything that you worked for, you can finally showcase it to the people of the world. Then the money doesn't matter no more. If you're doing it because you love the sport, or because you're doing it because you have so much passion for it,
right.
then the money don't matter. But like after that time, I started realizing, yo, in the end, you need to be able to show your skills, your passion, the love for the sport and everything, but you also gotta need to get paid at the same time you're doing it. Because in the end, I look at other people around me, that grew up, and other people that I'm talking about where I'm from, like all my friends, they're from when I was like 2, 3 years old from daycare. And
Yeah,
our mom or our parents know each other from before we were born or whatever. We in the Thai community, right? And some of them, they left a certain lifestyle and now they live in a different life, but they make good money. And I've been thinking in my head, I said, yo, all these years that I was here and I didn't make nothing, they still established like a business. They started making money, this and this and that. They gotta come a time where you get paid for what you do,
absolutely.
And I sacrificed too much to not get paid. What I want to get paid. Like I should get paid. That's just how it is. But yeah,
Absolutely, brother. And I think you did, and not that I think, I know you deserve it. And
yeah,
I don't say that lightly. I say that with a lot of admiration and respecting your skill set and what you've been able to do. And I think a lot of people might miss over this part, brother, that you said that, you didn't have the easy way out, right? You didn't have a whole bunch of promotional companies and top managers and going through the Olympics and things like that. So it came twice or maybe three times harder for you to get to the
yeah,
stage that you at right now.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Everything that came was from hardship, blood, sweat, and tears. Like a lot of tears, inside tears, not outside tears.
For sure.
Yeah, But
For
yeah,
sure.
definitely, he came through struggle, yo, for sure.
Absolutely. So, Champ, I got a few more questions for you if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'm here. No, I'm here, bro.
Okay. So, I seen how you dropped Kovalev in that 10th round, right? Corner with a left hook, then a right after
Yeah,
that, right? When you dropped him, I seen you just walked away. Like, man, I already knew this was gonna come. I just needed some time. Now, I believe if you had an extra round, I think you would have packed them up. I think you would have got them
yeah, I
out of
would.
there.
I just needed a little bit more. I think you got saved by the bell, yo. Because
Mm,
when he came up, I remember there's a video of him coming up. You can see his eyes; he's not there. So if the bell wouldn't have rang and he wouldn't got saved by the bell, I think they would have counted him out. And if they did, I would have been able to get at him again and then got him out of there for sure.
yeah. Now, I know Kovalev is a great name.
Oh,
Kovalev is a great name. He's an honorable name, notable name, world champion, everything of that nature. Do
yeah.
you think that people have given you the fair credit for that fight? Because,
No,
some
no,
people might have said, he's over the hill.
hell no,
Right.
hell no. Everybody was just talking. Even the commentators, yo, they're like, he old, he this, he that. Like Everybody after that beating was like, yeah, he's washed, he's old, he's this, he's that,
Mm-hmm.
bro. But if you a real fighter, then you know, like he always gonna be Kovalev. Nobody can take that away from him. How like how good he was and how good he is. Because even until this day, today, he beat a bunch of people in cruiserweight and light heavyweight, a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of them. And I'm talking about the top, like the prospect and people that are coming up and people that are up there, top 10. You know, he gonna beat a lot of them, or or even the top dogs, he gonna give them problems.
Absolutely. Now check
So
this out. I believe if it was the other way around, they would have gave him all the credit in the world, and they would have tried
exactly,
to right.
100%, yo. It's just, but that's just a part of boxing, yo. Everybody just talking motherfucking shit all the time, yo. You know,
Right.
everybody just be talking all the fucking time, yo. But I feel like that's how it is in life too, bro. You just gotta. It's just like I don't know my friend, because I'm from Sweden. It's like when you turn on the radio and you can't find the station.
Yeah.
That's what is in my ear. It's just like like what is it called? What is it called?
Static, like static.
Static sound in my ear, like when people are talking. Like it's just
Mm.
switch station. Like fuck that.
That how hard is that to block that out as a fighter, right? Because you see nowadays everything is on social media, everything is publicized, right? Twitter, Instagram, you can't run away from these things in the social media world. How are you able to turn that static noise off, or can you?
Yeah, I can. I
Okay,
just filtering it out. Like when I see it, I'm just keep on scrolling. Somebody commenting something too, just scroll. Somebody saying, I still read it. I still read it, but
mm-hmm.
I don't feel it. Like I don't feel anything
Mm-hmm.
from it. Yeah, I don't feel anything of it. Like So I just like yeah,
And
just
is
scroll
that
past it.
because of knowing who you are, like you know who you are deep inside? So although you may read the comments, it don't really bother you because you sure of who you are.
Yeah, but also I learned how to control my emotions a lot in life in general. So
Got
I
you.
learned when to switch on my emotions and switch them off. Even though I do, I feel my emotions sometimes, but I learn how to like balance it. I don't like to feel too good. I don't like to feel too bad. I don't like to get too happy. Like I just like balance it out. Even when like when you date females, like when you like you can feel a type of way towards them, but it's just feelings. You just gotta balance it out. Okay, I feel this, but what is she bringing to the table that is morally and principally right, for me. I might like her, but in the end she might not be good for me. It's the
Absolutely.
same thing, and the same thing with friends too. You might have a friend that you like, you have a lot of love for him, but he not following the criteria of your life. And
100%.
then it don't really matter if he's your brother, your
Right.
blood brother. It don't really matter. Like, yeah, I have love for him. We grew up together, this and this and that, but we're not aligned. We're not aligned. We can't be like, how do you say, like, we we brothers, but that's it.
Yeah.
We're not a team. If that makes
Got
sense.
you. No, no, makes a lot of sense, and I've gone through my shares as well. Now let me talk real quick, right? You beat Kovalev. Now, this to my understanding, Bernard Hopkins reached out to you right after the fight, or not too long after the fight.
No, no. So I went down with a dude that I met
Mm-hmm.
who wanted to start working with me, and we went down to one of the fights here in Vegas, and I met Bernard at the fight. So that's
Oh, okay.
that's that's when I met him. I met him in person, and that's when the whole thing started. Like that's when the whole Golden Boy thing started.
Now, how was that, man? You beat a world champion, right? You beat a great notable name. You meet
Yeah,
Bernard Hopkins, right? You get signed to Golden Boy Promotion. You
yeah.
everything that you've gone through. Like, how did that feel? Just reflecting back on everything that you've gone through.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. It was a lot, yo. It was a
Mm,
lot to like embrace and absorb. Because I'm just being honest. It was a lot, yo, emotionally. Not like, oh shit, I'm getting signed. Oh my God, more like, oh shoot, it's about that time where I'm gonna make create my name and become something, you know, because obviously I know how it is. You got to sell, you got to do this, you got to do that. And I kind of forgot that I'm just authentic of the way I am, the way I move, the way I talk. Like, I don't talk like other people here. I'm not from the States. I don't think like everybody here. You know, I don't walk like other people. I don't fight like other people. I don't dress like everybody. So it's like I'm already authentic. I don't need to force it, you know. But when I started with it, I was like, I gotta force it. I gotta force it. Almost like, you know, WWE wrestling, you know, like not in that way. That's the
No, for
extreme,
sure,
you
for
know. But
sure.
I'm just saying, like, you know, maybe dress in a type of way that doesn't fit me. Like, even when I walk in those clothes, I don't feel comfortable. I'm like, oh shoot, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was happened the first year. The first year was just a process. Like, I try to absorb all of that because all of that was new to me, you know. And then now this year's coming up, and now I'm getting more comfortable in my shoes and everything. So, you know, I'm just authentic of who I am. I just gotta be myself. I don't need to act the type of way or prove myself, or like, I just gotta be me, yo. If people don't love you for being yourself, then fuck them, yo. You know how it is. Yeah,
I
yo.
love it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
in other words, at one point in time, it almost felt scripted. So when you bring up the WWE comparison, it's almost like it
yeah, it
felt
felt
scripted.
scripted.
Yeah.
Felt scripted. In the end, you got to separate Robs and Robin. I understand that. Robs is the fighter, the boxer, you know, but Robin is, you know, the brother to my people, the son to my mom. You're like, this is Robin. I understand. I understand. I gotta, like, there's two different people. There's two different identities, you know,
Hmm.
but I don't need to. Robs is already his own. Like, that's who I am right now. That's me. I don't
Yeah.
need to create it. It's just who I am. Yes. But then I have another side who's also me, but that's a different identity of me. It sounds fucking wicked, yo. Like, you know,
Now, I,
but
no,
it's just,
I get it. I get exactly what you're saying, and I
yeah,
appreciate you being in your truth for sure.
yeah.
I love
But yeah,
that.
so yeah, that was, it was a lot emotionally with the signing with them, and, you know, going through all of that with the fights and shit, and then on top of that, being injured and all everything that was going on behind the scenes. So, but yeah, I'm you know, now I'm here, and I'm like, I'm good, you know.
Now for sure. Now, if I'm not mistaken, after the signing of Golden Boy promotion, you fought Silver, right?
Yeah, I fought Silver, yeah,
Fought
correct.
Silver. Did you tear your bicep during that matchup?
No, it was torn up before that, like during
It was
camp. I torn
okay.
it. I torn it in January. So I signed with Golden Boy January, and I torn it a week after I signed with them. And
Mm.
I tore my bicep, and I was supposed to fight in February. And I was like, shoot, I'm not gonna be able to fight in February because I got my bicep torn off. But it wasn't 100% torn off. It was a
Hmm.
partial tear. At least that's what they said. The doctors in Houston. I don't know if because they, like, you know, in the bush out there, and the doctors are different or whatever. Because when I came back after my fight here in Vegas, they say, yo, it's totally off. So maybe it
Mm.
was a partial then, and then I got torn it off during, like, you know, the fight and everything.
Right.
But yeah, it was torn off, and I just had to train accordingly to what I could, and I couldn't, like, hit no hooks. I couldn't hit no uppercuts with my left hand, and I barely couldn't use it. So I couldn't spar either. So I just took the fight because, you know, I wanted to fight so bad because I hadn't fought for a year. So I fought there, and then right after that, I had to go do surgery, and I was off until September, and then I got cleared in September, and then I started using my arm in September, and then I got to fight in November. And yeah, it was kind of like short, you know, a short notice or whatever. Not short notice, but right after the surgery was kind of a short time, you know. And yeah, and then I fought this fight, and, you know,
Mm.
it wasn't the way I wanted to. So, but it's all good. Everything is a learning experience, bro. It's a learning
Absolutely.
experience, bro.
Absolutely. Listen, Rob, when I seen you fight Silver, then you fought Derek Miller Jr. after that, right? The right hand was crazy, brother. I don't want to get hit by your right hand, champ. I'm telling you, the right hand is crazy,
I'm not
man.
gonna lie. He had a strong head, yo.
Mm. Who?
I
Which one? Derek
I
Miller?
pulverized my Derek Miller, yeah. I
Um.
pulverized my right hand on his fucking head. It was like he was punch drunk. It was
Mm.
hitting him. It was like but he never went down. And then he was walking like he was drunk. I'm like, God damn, yo. He was tough, yo. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, they listen, man. They say the toughest battles is made in the ring, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. For sure.
so real quick before I let you go, my last question to you is, champ.
Yeah.
Right now you're rising right now. You on a great trajectory in your career. I watched the interview where you said you don't really like calling guys out, so I'm not going to ask you to call anybody out. I'm just going to ask you, what do you think about the cruiserweight division, and like, what do you think about a David Benavidez fight? Possibly.
Amazing. I think that would be amazing stylistically too.
Mm,
Stylistically, I think that's would be really good, to be
I love
honest,
that.
because he's a come forward fighter. He don't like, he's not gun shy. He's like, he's not moving around. He's like, he want to fight,
Yeah.
and that's definitely would be a great fight. But obviously, I want to fight for the belts, obviously,
Right.
so my first option would be Noel, but I think Benavidez might be getting that fight. So if I
Mm-hmm.
don't get that fight, then because I'm already got the WBC silver title, maybe I can fight the guy with the interim title. His name is
Mm-hmm.
Shislak. I think he's from Poland or something. Fight
Mm-hmm.
that to fight for the interim, and then hopefully be in a mandatory spot for the winner between Noel and Benavidez. And if not that fight, I'm ranked number 2 in WBO, and I know Roman Fres. He just fought a fight, and he made a draw in that fight. So he still got to put himself in a mandatory position. So maybe a title eliminated with Roman Fres would make sense too. Those are two names that could come now around the corner if I can't get the Noel fight. But yeah, definitely, I would love to. I'm gonna fight the Benavidez, Jai Opetaia, and Vidal Riley, Noel, like all of these fighters. I'm gonna fight all of them. Like, it's just it's gonna happen sooner or later.
Hey, listen. Hey, when you fight these guys, man, listen, I'm front row seat, man. I gotta come watch your fight, champ. I
I
don't
got you,
want to
yo.
miss the
Yeah,
action, man. I'm front row to
yeah,
come support you, champ. Trust me, I'm gonna
yeah.
come
I
and support
appreciate
you
you,
for
bro.
sure. No doubt, no doubt,
Yeah,
brother.
100%.
So real quick, man, as I close out, um, what is the what is something that you want the fans that's going to watch this, or people that may not know about you? What's some things that you want to end it with, right? Just let them know a little bit, about you. No, not necessarily about you, but what can they be expecting from you?
Always, a fighter who looks for the fight and that's trying to entertain the crowd. I'm looking for a fight. Like, I'm not out there trying to box and be. I'm boxing it. Don't get it twisted. Like, my boxing IQ is very, very high. I understand. Like, I understand defense. I understand offensive. I understand ring positioning. I understand a lot of these things. But my mind is always gonna be on hurting somebody. So I'm always going to end up entertaining, because I always want to I want to damage my opponent. That's what I'm looking for. Even if I am, sometimes maybe I'm a little defensive, to get my opponent to a position where I'm going to be able to, you know hit on him hard. uh, Pause. Maybe that was a
Yeah,
pause, yo. I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, you understand what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah,
entertaining fighter. That's it, yo. Entertaining
absolutely.
fighter, yo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, man, this was a great interview. Super excited about everything that you got going on, champ. It was a pleasure having you. Continue to do all the amazing things that you're doing. You got my support, champ. I know this probably, God willing, this won't be the last time we able to sit down and do an interview.
God willing.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Boxing Legends Lounge. I am your host, Legend. This is my guy, the superstar in the making, Golden Boys promotions, superstar in the making, Rob Safar, good brother. I appreciate you being here, and I look forward to
Thank you,
many, many
brother.
more coming soon, bro.
I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for having me, man.